Hello again, everybody. I'm Marie Chief. Welcome back to, I think this is episode 8. Yes, episode 8 of Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, Prosecutor's Path, episodes 1 through 5 beta. We finally got Knightley on the ropes, or we are just beginning to get Knightley on the ropes, or whatever. I don't know how much longer this case is. And we're going to listen to his testimony, hopefully poke some holes in it. Let's see. Okay, so I already read this in the previous episode. I'm just gonna... I like to skip through the testimony so that I can... Because when you're initially playing, you can't, like, skip through text. It's only after you've read it the first time. So I like to... The first thing I always do is kind of scroll through it so that I can... Whoops. Just go back perfectly fast. Knightley fired the first shot, and then Ms. Swift fired the second one. In other words, Nicole also had a gun. I never thought she was the type. Without any proof, it's just pure speculation. Then BAM! Let's present some evidence! Okay, let's see. That's when I wanted the cabin, waited in the cabin while the president in the security room. When I came out, Rook was already on the ground. The bullet that lady fired must have hit him while we escorted the president to the plane. Huh. The shot was fired from the gun you found in the trash can. 2 shots have been fired. Same model as the victims. Okay. So I think I'm probably going to have to present this here, because it says 2 shots were fired here, but he's only saying that 1 shot was fired. Let's press him.
Hold it!
So the victim had no part in your plan.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't even know it was all fake.
So you're saying he thought it was a real assassination attempt? Ah, but you fired the gun right next to him. Wouldn't he have noticed?
Maybe he did. Not that it matters now. Besides, even if he thought the assassination attempt was a fake, his duty was to protect the king.
He made a split-second decision to sacrifice himself. The victim was truly a man of honor.
You're wrong. It was all part of my plan. He simply assisted in our little performance on stage.
Hold it!
Why did you do that? The assassination was supposed to be fake.
There were a lot of guests milling around outside.
Oh, I think that's him, like, moving an imaginary knight. That's kind of cool.
Wouldn't it be bad if the president, who just escaped an assassination, was seen lounging around and drinking grape juice? Imagine the headlines.
What was the victim doing at that time?
How should I know? I was with the president inside the security room. Anyway...
Hold it!
Where did you find the body?
About where he is now. He collapsed in the middle of this room. When I returned, the door to the plane was already closed. The bullet must have hit Rook right before the door closed. Talk about a hassle. It's all his fault that this plan failed. Knightley, that's too far. Even if he protected the king, he couldn't protect his honor. He was careless in his duty, and he paid the price for it.
This man is truly despicable.
As I was saying...
Hold it!
Weren't you both carrying bulletproof attaché cases?
Yeah, when Rook noticed the laser pointer, we opened up those bad boys and became the president's shield.
You're telling me that bullets slipped through the space between your shields? Are you claiming that Miss Swift has such precise aim?
Well, she was targeting the president. I wouldn't say her aim is precise at all.
So the bullet was off target and just happened to hit the victim instead? Through the tiny gap between his bulletproof vest and case?
I don't want to believe it either, but they say the truth is stranger than fiction. Rook was hit by a 1 in a million shot, and you have the evidence to prove it.
Hold it!
So the second shot wasn't part of your plan?
That's right. She did that on her own. If you think about it, wasn't she desperate for a scoop?
I'm a journalist. I ain't no murderer.
Well then, who was the one who joined the plan in order to get exclusive coverage?
That's...
It's just like you said. I orchestrated this fake assassination attempt. She was only supposed to aim the laser pointer. I guess it wasn't enough for her. She prepared her own gun and took aim at the president.
I really love that particular sprite, like that pose. God, he just looks vicious. It's great.
She probably thought she wouldn't get caught if she went on and shot me, too.
Knightley fired the first shot, and then Miss Swift fired the second one. In other words, Nicole... Oh, whoops, I'm sorry, we've already read this part. Whoops! Okay, so I'm gonna try my thing.
The shot was fired from the gun and the bag.
Oh, fuck! That was what I meant to do. Whoops! I was trying to present some evidence, but I pressed instead. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Sweet. When he like kind of opens his mouth during that animation, and sometimes I just imagine him going ooh, because it looks like that's the only thing he could be. Like, why else is he? Anyway, so you shot the balloon, and Ms. Swift shot Rook. Is that really true?
I can't see it any other way.
The gun we discovered in the trash was fired twice. The number of gunshots don't add up. Why don't the... I was about to read that as a Knightley. Why don't the gunshots add up? It's simple. This gun is fake evidence, left behind by the real criminal. Fake evidence? Think about it. The criminal planted this for a reason. By finding the gun, we'd assume that the assassin was in the audience. In order to make us believe that the gun was used by the assassin, the gun needed to appear as if it had been fired twice. I get it, because 2 shots were fired during the incident. However, we proved that the bullet that hit the balloon did not come from this gun. Therefore, I have my doubts as to whether this gun also took Rook's life.
Here it comes. You're packing some serious heat. Enough with the song and dance. You've come this far. Go ahead and say it.
I won't just say it. I'll prove it.
The one who really shot Rook is...
Take that!
Horace Knightley. You murdered Rook. You finally said it. Knightley, you couldn't have.
The killer wasn't the only one who took advantage of the fake assassination plot. You intended to murder Rook and claim he was a victim of the assassination. Once the president had entered the security room and the door to the plane was closed, only the victim and Knightley would have been left in this room. And at that moment, you fired a third bullet directly at Rook.
Objection!
A third bullet? Ha! Only 2 gunshots were heard. The numbers don't match up.
Objection!
The plane's walls are soundproof. If the door was closed, the gunshot would not have been heard outside. But wasn't the president in the next room? That's true. The president may have heard the gunshot. Mr. President, did you hear a gunshot?
I didn't hear any gunshots.
But weren't you watching this room through the security cameras?
Excuse me. The cameras in this room aren't usually turned on. I turned on the power after I entered the security room.
so you didn't turn on the power immediately after entering the room.
No, actually, I...
What is it? He's not being clear. Mr. President, focus. This is vital.
I was... That is,
Please.
I was hiding under the bed, covering my ears.
What? But you knew the assassination was fake.
It doesn't matter. I simply hate the sound of guns. That terrifying sound, I just can't help it.
That definitely ain't going in my article. Knightley, you saw the president hiding under the bed. Furthermore, you could tell if the security cameras had been turned on by looking at the monitors. In that moment, when the president wouldn't hear the gunshot or see the room, you had a chance to fire a third bullet at Rook.
Knightley, did you really? You deceived me?
You really think I killed that moron? That's cold, Mr. President. Have a little faith in me, the bodyguard who's risking his life to protect you.
I want to believe you. I really do, but
I just don't get it. Why are you suspecting me alone? There's still the possibility that she's the killer. This gun is not the murder weapon. The number of missing bullets makes that clear. Maybe it was one short to begin with. Ever think of that? What? Maybe it already fired a shot yesterday or the day before. And the second shot was fired today, the one that hit Rook. Well, isn't that just the perfect excuse? Excuse? The possibility exists. You can't deny that. He's right. I can't deny it completely. You need decisive evidence. Evidence so decisive that it makes my heart stop and my logic crumble. You got something like that? Gah. Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do anything? At this rate, Nicole will... Mr. Prosecutor, it's true, I did an awful thing for a scoop, but I never killed nobody. I could never do a thing like that. Decisive evidence. If I could prove the murder weapon was Knightley's gun, proof it was his gun. Yeah, it'd be great if you had the bullet that hit the balloon. Then you could examine it and see if the ballistic markings matched my gun. If we can find the bullet that took Rook's life, we can determine which gun fired the shot from the ballistic markings. If you got no evidence, then we're done talking.
Objection!
Hold it. What? You don't seriously have decisive evidence? Naturally. That's a big joke. Well, come on now, show us. What is this so-called evidence? The bullet that took Rook's life. That's the decisive evidence I need. This evidence. Do I have it? Okay, let's look at the organizer. I think that the bullet is going to be... Okay, so I think that Knightley shot Rook, and the bullet passed through him, and it hit the security monitor that has that stuffed toy in it. So I think that I have to say yes. I have to present the security monitors, and then, like, the evidence is going to be in the stuffed toy, maybe? So I'm going to say yes. I have the bullet right here somewhere. If the canary doesn't sing, just shoot it! Or so the saying goes. Okay, I guess not. Just as I hoped. I'm gonna blast a hole in you. Right in your chest. No! Rook was killed here. So where did the bullet go? Come to think of it, there's one thing in this room that's always felt out of place. Yeah, I know. I want to present it. Okay. I don't have it.
Okay. It's game over, man.
However, it is somewhere in this room. I know... Well, whatever.
What?
The bullet that killed Rook pierced through his body. So where did the bullet go? Earlier you explained it like this. The bullet that took Rook's life pierced through his body and then hit the vest.
That's right. It'd be dangerous if you hadn't worn that bulletproof vest.
However, now that the fake assassination... However, now that the fake assassination plan has come to light, we know that the bullet in the bulletproof vest was prepared earlier. So then, where did the bullet go?
Interesting. Very interesting. Do you have the answer?
Do I have evidence that shows the location of the bullet that killed Mr. Rook? Okay, yes. This is what I wanted to present.
Take that!
In this room, there is one thing that's clearly missing.
Something missing? You sure it's not your brain?
I'd like you to look at the rack of security monitors.
Oh.
It seems you've noticed, Mr. President. Among these images of the plane's surroundings, only the feed from the right side of the plane is absent. That's what's missing. A single monitor. Mr. President, there was originally a... Okay, boy, I should have done some diction exercises before I started this recording. Mr. President, there was originally a monitor here, wasn't there?
That's right. Why is there a stuffed toy now?
That must have been put there to hide the empty space where the monitor used to be. Why is the monitor missing, and where did it go? Why? Undoubtedly because it was hit by the bullet. In order to make us think that the bullet really hit the bulletproof vest, it would be a problem if another bullet hole was discovered. So then, where did the monitor go? Where? It should be hidden somewhere inside this plane. There hasn't been a chance to dispose of it outside since it was shot. Detective Gumshoe, search this plane.
Roger that, sir. President Wong, you said extraterritorial laws apply to this plane. I will allow it. There is no problem. I just want to know the truth of Rook's death. Damn it. You think this is a joke? You're always like this, Rook that.
Detective, we have his approval. Go ahead.
Mr. Edgeworth, I found it, sir.
Good work, Detective. Now let's extract the bullet from this monitor.
If I do this here, and then I do that, I got it!
Well, it's definitely stained with blood. I'm certain this is the bullet that killed Rook. Bloody bullet data jotted down in my organizer. This is the bullet that will crush your arguments, the decisive evidence that blows a hole in your logic. If the ballistic markings on this bullet do not match the gun found in the audience area, Ms. Swift will be cleared of suspicion. What's wrong? Cat got your tongue? Detective, we need to examine the ballistic markings. Send the gun and bullet to forensics.
Roger. You should be able to find clear markings on this bullet, sir.
Now then, let's listen to the forensics report.
Reporting! First, the blood on this bullet matches the victim's blood.
So, this bullet really did take Rook's life.
Also, Horace Knightley's fingerprints were found on this gun.
Knightley's fingerprints probably came from when he took all our evidence. The real issue is the ballistic markings. If the markings don't match, Ms. Swift will be cleared of suspicion. And the bullet's ballistic markings match this gun. Yeah, of course. What? They match? What? No way! There's no mistake. The bullet was fired from this gun. What? Huh? That's strange. Looks like I was right after all. Naturally. Oh man, it's cool that they even did it for like, you know, when you're not zoomed in.
Did you really think you had me cornered? You misread the board. The one who's been cornered is you.
Aw, snap.
If the ballistic markings match the gun, there can be no doubt. The bullet that killed Rook was fired from the gun you found in the audience area. Who could have used the gun? Not me, because I was on stage. But what about that lady reporter in the audience? All the evidence points to that young lady as the assassin who killed Rook. Well, it's your move, Mr. Prosecutor. Where'd you find this gun again? And which gun fired the bullet? At least we know. It ain't me.
This can't be happening.
The President and I have admitted to the fake assassination plot. Now it's your turn to admit who the real criminal is.
That doesn't make Nicole the criminal. Don't get riled up, Kay. Let him have his say first. After he's done, it won't be too late to begin our counterattack. All right, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm gonna press them all anyway, whatever. No, that's...
Objection!
Didn't you say it earlier? This is the decisive evidence. Well, how does it feel to have a hole blown through your reasoning?
The ballistic markings matched the gun we found, so... Does that mean Nicole really was the shooter? I'd like to believe otherwise.
But he's got the decisive evidence on his side, sir.
Indeed. How should I proceed? If Miss Swift isn't the killer, then the ballistic markings should not match. Thoughts, Kay? If the evidence is impossible, then maybe we should doubt the evidence itself, right? Doubt the evidence? Nicole's definitely not a criminal. So if the evidence says that she's a criminal, there must be something wrong with it. You seem awfully sure of yourself. It's a great thief's intuition. Intuition? Still, it's quite possible. Above all, Miss Swift doesn't seem like the type of person to tell such elaborate lies. In court, the evidence is everything, and yet here I am doubting it. Which evidence do I doubt? Oh, wow, okay. Well... okay. They're all using the same kind of gun. So I think I'm gonna doubt the gun, and my reasoning is that maybe the gun was swapped out somehow. I know he said he couldn't have done it, but I don't know, maybe there's a way. Let's doubt the gun. If anything's suspect here, it can only be the gun. The bullet was discovered just a moment ago. It couldn't have been tampered with yet. Did Knightley have a chance to tamper with the gun?
You shall hand over all the evidence you've collected so far and leave this plane at once.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor.
Be a good boy and do as you're told.
I cannot resist any longer. That's it! You could have tampered with the gun at that time. There's no doubt that this gun is the real murder weapon. In that case, the owner of this gun is... Oh, shit. Okay. Well. I think it's either Knightley or Rook. I'm just gonna say Knightley, even though I think it might be Rook. He must have switched the guns. Without a doubt, this is Knightley's own gun. Okay, never mind. Knightley's revolver data updated in my organizer.
The bullet that killed Rook was fired from the gun you found in the audience area.
Okay, Okay, so wait. Let me look at Knightley's gun. Switch with the gun found in the audience area. Imagine the bullets ballistic markings.
Objection!
Oh, well, I didn't press anything else, but whatever. Knightley, you fiend. You switched the guns. Oh, shit, of course, duh. Okay, now I see. So, Knightley collects all the evidence, and then he literally just says, like, he just takes... So the gun he's been using, the gun he's been, like, twirling, you know, recently, that's the gun that was in the trash. So he just said, like, oh, this is my gun, and this is the gun that you guys found. See, hopefully you understand what I mean. I'm sure they'll explain it, but anyway. The gun that matched the ballistics markings was yours all along.
Interesting choice of move you've made there.
The switch occurred at the time you seized the evidence, when we were arguing with the President over the investigation rights. You detached the laser sight from the gun found in the audience area, and attached it to your gun. Then, when you returned the evidence, you gave me your own gun.
Did I do that? So, what you're saying is that I knew you'd want to examine the ballistics markings.
Indeed. Staying one move ahead of your opponent. Isn't that the fundamental rule of chess?
I'm glad you feel that way, Mr. Prosecutor, but you're giving me too much credit. Besides, can you even prove I pulled the old switcheroo with the guns? So the gun happens to be the same model as mine. Pure coincidence. But take a closer look. Only one of them has a laser pointer attached to it. Check the number of bullets left in the chamber. Only 2 shots fired, see? There's no evidence that I switched the guns. Right.
Giving you too much credit? That hardly sounds like something you'd say.
Guess I'm just more modest than you. Well, except when I'm in front of a chessboard.
But we're not in front of a chessboard.
That's too bad. Don't use that as an excuse later. I didn't lose the game. I just couldn't find enough evidence.
You're the one who should have an excuse ready. You didn't beat me at chess. You only found the evidence. Okay.
Hold it!
Coincidence, you say?
Or perhaps it was simply bound to happen. Which was it, pal? Us bodyguards needed to use them to protect the president. And no matter how you slice it, that lady is a total amateur with guns. It was necessary for both of us to use revolvers.
A revolver? Like the one Knightley's carrying? Why would it be necessary? It has a simpler mechanism, so it's easier to use. Something along those lines, probably.
When you gotta get the job done, or if you're new to this sort of thing, there's nothing better. The truth is, I thought it was pure coincidence all along.
Hold it!
You attached the laser pointer to the gun yourself.
Oh yeah? Prove it. Show me the evidence.
Well, that's...
You can't go around calling people liars without proof. Didn't your daddy teach you that? On that point, I got some evidence.
Let's try that again.
On that point, I've got evidence on my side.
Hold it!
Something's been bothering me for a while now. What about the chamber of your own gun?
My woman here? Now that you mention it. I've been firing it off for a while now.
Every time he fires, he reloads the gun.
So there's no way to check its status from the time of the incident.
That's it. In order to switch the guns, he would have needed to reload the bullets. Knightley is barehanded, and he had no time to put on gloves when the switch was made.
Well, I think it's about time for you to resign. How about it, Prosecutor Edgeworth? There's no evidence that I switched the guns. Right.
Okay. Okay, so... Okay. So we have to... So... I guess his fingerprints will be on the bullets. Let's press this last thing.
Hold it!
If it's evidence...
There isn't any. If there is, show it to me. We know there is, pal. Don't we, Mr. Edgeworth?
There's no time for another investigation. I can only use what I have right now. Consider all the possibilities.
If you've got something to show, let me know.
Evidence that Knightley switched the guns? Does that even exist? There's no evidence that directly proves that Knightley switched the guns. Yet we know for a fact he did.
If he didn't, there would be no explanation. If he didn't, there would be no explanation for the ballistics markings.
I need to carefully consider the meaning behind every piece of evidence linked to his testimony. The truth must be there. Okay, so I think I have to present, like, the gun or the bullet. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna try the gun.
Objection!
Good. Ooh. Okay. That evidence is this.
You call that evidence? Prosecutor Edgeworth, you're trying too hard.
Certainly, certain traces were left on this gun. Traces that prove this gun belongs to you.
Show it to me. What kind of piece you got? A rook? A bishop? It better not be a pawn.
The traces Knightley left on this gun are... You left your fingerprints on this gun.
Objection!
Fingerprints. Ha! That should be expected. I handled the gun earlier when I seized your evidence. Of course my fingerprints are on it.
Objection!
But what if the fingerprints are in a place they should not be?
What? That's not possible.
Allow me to show you. There is one place where your fingerprints should not be. This piece of evidence will deal the final blow to your king. Okay. So... I guess, do I just point in here? Here, Detective Gumshoe, please have a look at the cylinder.
2 shots were fired, sir, but where would the fingerprints be?
You made the switch when you seized the evidence earlier. However, if all you did was switch the guns, you would have been found out right away. That's because the number of bullets fired by the two guns are different.
The gun found in the audience area had fired 2 shots, sir.
Then, what about Mr. Knightley's gun? He fired 2 shots at the balloon when he was on the stage. And later, 1 shot killed Rook. 3 shots in total, not counting the number of shots he's fired since then. And after each of those times, you would reload the bullets. Tell us, Knightley, were you wearing gloves when doing that? Officer, in your report earlier, where were Knightley's fingerprints found on the gun? Sir, the prints weren't just found on the outside of the gun. They were also found on the bullets as well. If all you did was handle the evidence, why would your fingerprints be on the bullets?
Yeah, that's...
With this, it has been proven that you switched the guns. The gun, which fired the bullet that took the victim's life, it belongs to you, Horace Knightley. You're the one who stole Rook's life. You are the true assassin. Checkmate.
I should have been made leader. Me! Rook, that piece of scum. If it hadn't been for him, I would have had complete control over everybody. My assassination plan, it was perfect. My plan was perfect.
Detective Gumshoe, if you please.
Roger that, sir. Edgeworth! This game isn't over yet. You hear me? I...
That's enough. The rest of this game will continue in the courtroom.
Damn it. Damn you! You have my gratitude. You exposed a murderer amongst my bodyguards, and for that I am truly in your debt.
As soon as he stepped outside the plane, he reverted back to his king-like persona.
Some time ago, when I proposed the fake assassination plan. You want me, and not Rook? Rook declined, so I'm asking you, what do you say?
Alright, let's do this. I'll come up with the perfect plan. I can even use that guy as a chess piece.
When Knightley said that, his eyes were overflowing with hatred towards Rook. Frankly, I was quite anxious about asking Knightley instead of Rook. Now that I recall those events, he probably sensed the anxiety in my countenance. Perhaps that is what gave him the impetus for murder.
Mr. President, if you had not orchestrated that fake plan, this would not have happened. That is your sin. A sin that you won't disappear, or a sin that won't disappear.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. You have my sincerest apologies. I too must bear some responsibility for this. Even so, I am most grateful to you. I thank you for solving the mystery of Rook's death. I am scheduled to stay in this country for a little longer. But if any of you ever wish to visit the Republic of Zhangfa, you will always be welcome.
Oh, lordy, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy for you, Nicole. You were set up as the suspect for the murder. Still, your involvement with the fake assassination plan remains a fact. You will have to submit to police questioning later. You should know that there's still a possibility you may be charged with some crime. Yeah, I know. Sorry about all this. I understand you want to catch a scoop, but there's a line that should not be crossed. I hear ya. I promise to reflect on this. We did it, Mr. Edgeworth. That was awesome. Prosecutor Edgeworth solves presidential assassination attempt. It's gonna be big news. Big news? Mr. Prosecutor, would you mind telling us how you feel about solving the case? That was certainly a quick change of attitude. No comment. Aw, don't be so ornery. The reason is because this case is not over yet.
Oh, not over? What do you mean, sir?
What shows that this case is not over yet? I don't know. Let's find out. Oh, shit, of course. DeKiller's card. DeKiller still hasn't carried out his request.
You mean kill the president?
I hope this doesn't turn into a larger incident. An assassination attempt on the president of Zhangfa. News of this incident spread across the entire country. The mass media also hounded me as I began to prepare for the trial of Horace Knightley. Everyone had seen the news, and everyone was talking about it. However, amidst the commotion, nobody noticed that the game had only just begun. The end. Well, the end of Chapter 1. Because now the imprisoned turnabout has been added. Okay, so, thoughts about Chapter 1. I really liked it, and I really like this game. I'm so excited about Chapter 2. I'm really excited about the prospect of Horace Knightley showing up again. I'm assuming the imprisoned turnabout is going to have something to do with him being in prison. I'm really excited about DeKiller coming back. I think that Logic Chess is really fun. There were definitely some parts that could have been, like, a little clearer, but I honestly, like, I wonder if that's less the game's fault and more just because, you know, the translators have done an excellent job, but they're not Capcom, you know? Like, I mean, it could just be that, like, it would have been clearer if a more official translation had been released. That's not to say, though, I mean, God, props to the guys who translated this game. That's a lot of text to work on. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and stop there for now. But make sure to tune in for Episode 8 when we find out what's going to happen next. Bye!